Hello, everyone. My name is Ana Martha Ayala, and I'd like to welcome you to my YouTube channel. As a reminder, I do every video in English and Spanish, and the degree theory is based on modern Western astrology using the Placidus House system. In today's video, I wanted to talk to you about the Mercury retrograde we are going to have from November 9th through November 29th. Mercury will go retrograde at 6 degrees of Sagittarius and it will go direct on November 29th in Scorpio at 20 degrees. And this Mercury retrograde is going to be a beast of a retrograde. We can already see what's happening with the travel. And as you all know, if you look at the video that I did way back at the beginning of the year about retrograde planets, it will station. Mercury is going to station at 6 degrees of Sagittarius from November 7th through November 13th. And then when it goes direct, it will station at 20 degrees of Scorpio from November 28th through December 1st. So what is this stationing? Planets, from the point of view of Earth, seem to be going direct or forward. But when a planet is going to begin going retrograde, which means that it looks like it's going to go backwards from our viewpoint, although the planet really doesn't go backwards, right? But if it's going forward, it needs to stop or station before it goes back or retrograde. And then when it's retrograding, it needs to stop or station and then go forward, all right, or go direct. Now, when a planet stations, and this is applicable to any planet, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, the only two, the luminaries do not retrograde, which are the sun and the moon. But all of the other planets do this. They station before they turn directions. Now, when a planet is stationing, it's extra strong. It is extra force or forceful, right? Like its energy, it's at its peak. So now you can see what's happening with all the travel, right? With the air traffic controllers on, I'm filming this on Friday, the 7th of November. They already announced that they were gonna reduce the flights by 10%, and I believe it takes effect on Monday, which is November 9th. No, on Sunday, I believe. So anyway, you could see the beginning of the retrograde, um, when it's stationing, major problems happen. And like I've always said in the other videos, you can go back and check that that's when most of the airline delays, the cancellations, the car reservations, etc., everything goes haywire. So, what is Mercury besides travel? And I said it was going to be a beast because Mercury is short travel, Gemini, right? Because it rules Gemini and it rules Virgo. But Sagittarius, Mercury retrograde going in Sagittarius, it's long distance travel. So travel is going to be affected big time. Now, Mercury rules contracts, it rules agreements, legal documents, documents like your driver's license, your passports, any kind of ID that you have. It rules your keys, the electronic chips in your computer, rules computers, cars, shipping, logistics, sorry, travel, and other like factual information, right? So when Mercury is retrograde, all of these areas suffer. Third house, because Mercury rules the third house and sixth house in a natural chart, but third house, your thoughts. So it rules your mind. So you may become forgetful and lose things. But on the other hand, if you've already lost something, it's a great idea to start searching for it when Mercury is retrograde, because a lot of times it appears. I don't know why, but that's the rule. So it's a great time to try to find something. Now, obviously, Mercury is the ruler of Gemini and Virgo, so those are the two signs that are affected the most. Granted, all other signs will be affected as well, but those two, Gemini and Virgo, get hit pretty hard. Now, if you work in communications and travel, shipping-based industry, transportation, like airlines, FedEx, UPS, USPS, you're going to feel the effects of Mercury. I mean, that's just, the rule, right? Now, I am the type of astrologer that does, I don't recommend you buying anything electronic during a Mercury retrograde or anything expensive for that matter. Because when it goes direct, you're going to change your mind on it. And so nothing, electronic, computers, smartphones, car, kitchen appliances, TV, or anything else electronic that I forgot to mention. And if you have to buy something that's electronic, by the way, that is Sahara, my Doberman. She wants to do a little cameo, I guess, on the video. And I have the dachshund here on my lap. See, that's the other one. So anyway, um, if you are going to buy something because your computer crashes or you lose your phone, which is classic for Mercury retrograde, make sure that you get an extended warranty. All right. If you need your car repaired, make sure that you go to a place that guarantees the repairs. All right. Also, of course, travel, you know, like I said before, this is where cancellations happen, delays, etc. Now, a Mercury enters Scorpio because it's going to start in Sagittarius, but it's going to end in Scorpio. So Mercury enters Scorpio from November 19th, the 20th until December 11th. Because on December 10th, no, until December 10th, because on December 11th, it enters Sagittarius again. Okay. Now, like I said, if you have it's Sagittarius at 6 degrees and Scorpio at 20 degrees. So this is going to affect the mutable signs and it's going to affect the fixed signs. Mutable signs, Sag, Gemini, Pisces, and Virgo. Fixed signs, Scorpio, Taurus, Leo, and Aquarius. So if you have planets around 20 degrees or 6 degrees, right? 6 degrees in the mutable signs, 20 degrees in the fixed signs, plus or minus 3 degrees, this Mercury retrograde is going to affect you. Now, okay, so let's talk about what Mercury and Sag is all about. So, Sagittarius rules our belief systems. Sages are very straightforward, blunt, very optimistic in their thoughts, right? But they see the bigger picture and then they try to convince everybody that they're right. So, it's going to be a little bit intense. Mercury in Scorpio, well, that is just being a detective, right? Scorpio is deep, intense. Communication is very deep, maybe on deep subjects. So they like to investigate and find the truth. Scorpio can look for revenge as well. So, what makes this retrograde, like I said, a beast of it, is that Mercury will oppose Uranus 3 times in November. So Uranus, of course, brings sudden messages, sudden surprises, the shock and awe. Uranus is freedom, innovation, rebellion, protests, especially with Mercury, speech. Like a lot of people are going to be not happy about something, um, or will be opposing something related to freedom. But anyway, October 29th is the first opposition, and it's at 29 degrees to 0 degrees for the mutable signs in Sagittarius. So to see the bigger picture, truths will obviously will come out. On November 19th, you have the second opposition, which this time Mercury is in Scorpio at 29 degrees to 0 degrees. And then the third opposition is on December 10th, 27 to 28 degrees. So secrets, again, are a topic that can come alive, right? So, and whatever messages you get, since Uranus is involved, they will be very emotional because there's a grand water trine in the sky. We have Neptune and Saturn in Pisces. We have Jupiter in Cancer. And then we have Mercury, Venus, the Sun, the Moon in Scorpio. So, there's a lot of deep emotions happening, or just a very emotional time for everyone. All right, so let's look at the 12 ascendants and how they are going to be affected. So for Aries, the retrograde, Mercury retrograde starts in your 9th house, and then it goes to your 8th house. So for the 9th house, travel, higher education, maybe courses, your beliefs, legal cases, legal documents, your IDs. You're going to be revisiting any and all of these topics, especially if you're traveling, because the retrograde happens in your 9th house. Double check your airline reservations, your hotel reservations, car reservations to make sure that everything is good to go. In the 8th house deals with the occult, with tarot, astrology, numerology. So maybe you want to dive deeper into these subjects. 8th house is also inheritances, your partner's money, investments, loans, debt, sex, taxes, intimacy, obviously. All of these subjects or all of these topics will be reviewed, revisited, especially with money. I hope that you were one of the signs that put stop orders in any stocks that you own, because you see how the stock market has been going up and down. Which, if you listen to my November, update for the month, you would have been warned ahead of time. So, Taurus. For Taurus, your Mercury retrograde happens in your 8th and then in your 7th house. So, in the 8th house, again, maybe you want to visit the occult subjects you want to investigate, right? Intimacy, debt, sex, taxes, secrets in this area. So be careful because they can be revealed. In your 7th house, because, Scorpio is the 7th house for Taurus. So it's about long-term relationships. So you are one of the signs that may get a message from an ex-partner in love or business. Maybe you learn of a secret from your spouse or an ex-partner or a business partner. For Gemini, your retrograde starts in your 7th house and then it goes to your 6th house. For 7th house, you may receive a message from an ex-partner in love or business. You may learn something from your spouse or from an ex that you used to live with or be married to, or an ex-business partner. So, like I was saying, for Gemini, maybe you learn about something from an ex-partner, maybe your first marriage or something like that, or from a business partner that, a secret that catches you off guard. All right. Because Uranus is involved, right? So that's the moment. Now, 6th house. Sixth house is Scorpio. Perhaps you want to revisit work habits, your daily schedule, your daily routines to find a better way of doing things, right? You can become more efficient. In health, your health needs to be revisited. Maybe you've gained weight and now you want to lose it because someone says something and you find out that they said, "Oh my God, so and so looks so heavy. I wonder what happened," Um, or perhaps a coworker has been keeping a secret from you and you find out. Okay. Cancer. For Cancer rising, the retrograde happens in Sagittarius in your sixth house. So a work issue, a health issue may come up that needs to be addressed or readdressed. If something does come up, be open about it, get the results that you need, review it with your doctor or with your, nurse practitioner, health provider, and just, do what you need to do to get it right. For Scorpio, retrograde, Mercury retrogrades in your fifth house. So, a boyfriend, girlfriend, ex-boyfriend, girlfriend can message you. Maybe, fifth house is children besides the boyfriend, girlfriend, romance, children, vacations, things that you do for fun. And so this is a trine for you. So it will be favorable for you. Um, you're obviously the other sign they can hear from an ex from the romance department, the fifth house, or you can find out a secret about them. Maybe you find out that they were cheating on you and that's why you broke up and so now you get affirmation. Or maybe they left you for another and now you find out that this other person that they left you for, they cheated on them. So um that's another possibility. Or maybe you're just thinking a lot about romance and love and how you want it to be and who's your ideal person, etc. All right, for Leo rising. For Leo, a Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is a trine for you. So this is a good thing. It is in your fifth house. So boyfriend, girlfriend, your children, vacations, things that you do for fun. Maybe you had a hobby that you want to take back up again and maybe monetize it this time around. Just make sure that you wait till after the Mercury retrograde. Um, or maybe you get friendly with a person that you met before, and then they come back into the picture, rethinking about what happened in the relationship, or maybe you were friends and now you're going to be more than that, or you're revisiting the subject. All right. For Leo, the retrograde in Scorpio happens in your fourth house. So this is a square for you. Um, Family secrets may come up. Emotions from the past can come up because it's the fourth house, right? So it's all about family. It's all about maybe something happened in the family that was all hush hush, and now you get to find out what happened. Um, Maybe you close on the property that you wanted, right? Like maybe or the contract goes through because maybe there's a property that you wanted and had an offer and the offer fell through and now you want to uh re-offer, like put another contract on the property. Or maybe you need to review the way you reacted to a family situation. Or maybe you want to do a family tree or a family reunion, but this one's a square, so this one can be, kind of emotional for you. For Virgo, for Virgo, Sag is your fourth house. So this is a square. So again, just like you might learn from a family secret and it may not be a nice one because it's a square. Maybe you're rethinking about remodeling, redecorating your home. I wouldn't start it till after Mercury retrograde is over. And you may want to visit your parents as another option, right? Maybe you want to go back home. There can be some emotional stuff with your parents. Maybe there's a message that they sent you that didn't quite sit well with you during this retrograde. So keep that in mind. Don't react, just chill because Uranus is going to be in the mix. So you don't want to, do anything hasty. All right. So for Virgo, a Mercury retrograde in Scorpio is your third house. So this is great for researching. So if you do research work, that's a thumbs up. Maybe revisiting a presentation, or maybe you can brainstorm how to do something better. It's a sextile, so maybe it has something to do with your siblings. Um, they may be the ones to surprise you with something and change your mind about a certain topic, um, or maybe they have a secret that they want to share with you and you find out, right? All right, so Libra. For Libra, the Mercury retrograde in Sagittarius is a sextile, so be careful with what you say to your siblings, right? One, two, three, it's the third house. They may be the ones to surprise you about something and make you change your mind about a certain topic. Or there may be a secret that they want to share with you. Maybe you get a message or a phone call from your siblings out of the blue. So that would be a surprise. And for Libra, the retrograde in Scorpio happens in your second house. So here you may have a surprise when it comes to money that may be a little bit unsettling because Uranus, remember Uranus is going to oppose Mercury twice in Scorpio. There can also be a debt that you forgot to pay because this is opposite the eighth house, right? So maybe you get a message about a job that you applied 2 weeks ago, and like they didn't hire anybody, and now they're calling you to hire you. I would not accept a job until after the Mercury retrograde. There could be someone or an ex-boss that may call you from a place that you used to work for before, that they want you back, or just to, touch base, right? And you can also be reviewing the way you spend money. That's the other thing. Because when we have a retrograde in the second house, we always look at, where the money's going. Scorpio. Scorpio, this retrograde first happens in your second house. So there can be a surprise when it comes to money, and that may be good news because remember, Uranus is going to oppose um, Mercury twice in Scorpio. Again, maybe you applied for a job and they didn't get back to you, and now you may get a call back, or you may get a call from an ex-boss or a former coworker, right? Somebody that you used to work for. Your ex-boss might be asking you to either do part-time shifts or come back to work with them. You can also be reviewing the way you spend money because you've been spending a lot of money. Or maybe you're going to be replacing an asset, reviewing your talents, your self-worth under a microscope. Because, with Scorpio, everything is, yeah. Okay, for Scorpio, the second part of the retrograde happens in your sign, in your first house. So here you are thinking about you. Things that you want to change about yourself, your looks maybe, because Venus is conjunct with Mercury. So before you do anything drastic about your looks, make sure that Mercury goes direct to initiate any changes. Remember, there are a lot of planets in Scorpio, the Sun, Venus, the Moon, Mercury. So this is an opportunity to think all about the changes that you want to do. Careful with any secrets that you don't want them to come out. Scorpio is always interested in other people's lives, but their own is top secret. Okay, so just remember that. All right, for Sagittarius, the first part of the Mercury retrograde happens in your sign. And this is Sahara, by the way. Um, so with the Mercury retrograde in your sign, you are thinking about you. Things that you want to change about yourself, your beliefs, um, just, maybe the way you look, the way you think. Just don't initiate any changes until Mercury goes direct. You can also change your mind on a certain subject matter. Don't try to convince someone about your beliefs in a certain area. Like live and let live, agree to disagree. You may be very wise, have a lot of knowledge, be very good in the area that you're discussing, but just, don't be forceful on somebody to say, hey, you're wrong and I'm right. That is my advice to you. For Sag, then the second part of the Mercury retrograde is in the 12th house. So this is a house of secrets and it's in Scorpio. So be careful that something that you've been hiding, because 12th house is stuff that we do behind the scenes, doesn't come out. Also, you may be reviewing your spiritual beliefs, the way you do meditation. Maybe you're reviewing about going back to a therapist that you used to do, sessions with. If someone from your past, like a past therapist, comes into the picture, then that's good because it's like redoing the past. You also may become a little bit more introverted and not share your thoughts when that Mercury is going through Scorpio. You could be, it's a period for like self-analyzing, reevaluating. Uh, you also may need just some time alone because 12th house is things that we do by ourselves. For Capricorn, for Capricorn, 12 Mercury, the first part of the Mercury retrograde happens in your 12th house. So this is the house of secrets. Be careful that something that you've been hiding does not come out. Also, you may be reviewing your spiritual beliefs, your meditations, your dreams, your thoughts may be all over the place. About thinking about things that you should have done, that could have happened, or maybe you want to be planning things behind the scenes. You can look into past life regressions, taboo subjects. You may become a bit more introverted and not share your thoughts with people. You might just, you know, um, reevaluate your 12th house matters, or you maybe just need some time alone to just recoup. Mercury retrograde in your 11th house. This is for Capricorn rising. Mercury in Scorpio in your 11th house. The focus is on friends. Maybe friends from the past can come in again. Then you get a call from them, or hey, let's meet up. There can be a secret about a friend. Perhaps you like a friend, or maybe they like you, and it's more than just friendship because Venus is conjunct Mercury retrograde. So maybe the communication comes through and says, "Hey, I like you more than just a friend." So there can be some kind of declaration of love, or maybe someone can approach you in that way. A past friend can also reveal a secret that they've been keeping from you. And lastly, you can revisit your goals, your wishes, your dreams, make new ones after Mercury goes direct. Aquarius. Aquarius, the first part of the retrograde is happening in Sagittarius, your 11th house. So the focus is on your friends. This is a sextile, so it can be good. There could be a small opportunity for you to maybe visit with a friend that you haven't seen in a while. Or again, maybe there's a friend that you used to like and Now things are coming up that because Venus is conjunct Mercury, that it's more than a friendship. I would wait until Mercury goes direct if you plan to start a relationship with this person, because then, you might change your mind after Mercury goes direct. And you can revisit your goals, your wishes. You can be going back to a social group, a professional group that served you well in the past. Mercury retrograde in Scorpio in your 10th house. So this is about your career. There may be a secret about your boss that you find out, or someone finds out that you're applying for another position, for example. It can be that you're tired of your current job and you're revisiting going back to a previous employer. Whatever communication comes will be surprising, unexpected, and I would advise to always be honest. For Pisces. For Pisces, the first part of the retrograde happens in your 10th house in Sag, right? So this is about your career. Whatever communication comes your way from your boss will be surprising, unexpected, maybe a little bit unsettling. Always be honest with yourself and others. Maybe you need a little bit more independence in your career because remember, it's that opposition to Uranus, or maybe you just want to change careers, just do something completely different, but don't act on anything until Mercury goes direct. The second part of the retrograde, Mercury is going to retrograde in Scorpio in your 9th house. So this is a trine for you because it's water, right? And this energy can be very nice. So maybe you can revisit a foreign country, somewhere where you've already traveled. Maybe you can be reconnecting with a friend from the university, 9th house, right? Or a professor also. Um, there can be a secret that you find out about a university friend or a university professor. You can go back to school. Maybe you're editing a book that you want to publish because Sag is, ninth house is publishing. There can also be about legal documents that need to be resubmitted for whatever reason. Maybe there was a mistake, right? Now you need to review and resubmit, and hopefully things will work out really well this time. So anyway, this concludes the Mercury retrograde for Sag and Scorpio. It's going to be quite interesting. And I hope you guys listen to my November forecast for the month because it has a lot of information that has to do with the Mercury retrograde, so I suggest it. Anyway, I hope that this video has helped you. If so, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and send it to somebody else that it also may help. As always, if you would like a chart reading with me, please send me an email to amaastrology@aol.com. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.